Welcome back to Minecraft. I'm actually on my own on the server at the moment. Well, Noah's on the server, but in terms of audio, you only hear me this episode. And I really just wanted to show one part off today. Although the hospital, which is coming on massively well, as you can see, I'm going to go in on the next video and we're going to explore the inside because it's huge and it requires an episode of its own. What I'm really here for is this, which is our clock. The clock here is over the road bridge, which you should remember. And if I come over here, I've left the wire exposing, mostly for two reasons. One is that I can show you guys how it works, and the other is because we're going to make this clock work on this wall as well, so at the back. So let's start explaining the clock, shall we? So the timer of the clock is basically this flat piece here with all the repeaters. We originally sent in a redstone torch here to send in a pulse of electricity through the system. Waited till the line mostly filled up, and then we took the torch away, so we got our timing straight. And I'll come over to the clock face itself. Each of the hands are represented by a different colour wall. So we've got this line of hands here is this purple wall, which then leads down. Basically, it runs all the way through and eventually comes up to the redstone repeater. You'd have to ignore this stuff here, that's the old design. Same with the white. White comes down, you can follow it along, and eventually it connects in on the other side. Red comes up here. I'm going to choose one that's quite easy to see, one that's above my head here. So we've got the blue, which is the 12 o'clock position. Wire comes through, gets repeated to boost the power over here, and lands directly on the clock at this point here. So we've got all the colours through, and it goes from one side to the other. So we've got blue, and then back here is yellow, over here is green, back here is brown, over here is black, over there is red. On the opposite side again we have white, and the last one is purple. I think that's the last one. Let me just double check. Yes, because the wire for the clock loops around and underneath the whole machine and restarts it again. So let's follow how it goes. So it starts with a blue wire, pulses, it goes under the machine, activates the red, comes up, activates white. Comes up here, will activate the red, comes over there, activates black, comes back along the line, activates this brown, pulse green, over here for the yellow, and finally up to blue, and then the pulse runs under the machine and appears over on this side again. So that's pretty much how the machine works, and the way we made sure it was in the right direction is 12 o'clock position was here, the next position, the yellow, came on the second line, and we just made sure that by line we were going round the clock in a clockwise direction. So from actually I think we went anti-clockwise to connect it, because we were sending the pulse the other way, so we were connected to blue to yellow and onwards round the clock, and then we sent the pulse in the reverse direction, so it went da 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 da. I'll step back a bit so you can see it. I mean, the pulse timing could do with a little bit of adjusting to make it slightly longer. But yeah, it works really well. Hopefully you managed to do that. It's a really good tip, by the way, is using coloured wool for different wires. It allows you to follow each track back much easier. Especially as you can see here, we're trying to weave in and out multiple wires to try and get to certain areas. So to track where they were going, we put coloured wool under so we could see what we were doing. It's definitely an excellent tip. Yeah, I don't really know much more to show on this. Oh, well, I'll tell you what there is. Over here, Recklaw's been on the server this morning, and he started off his apartment complex. This is the main lobby. I think an elevator's going in underneath there, and this is what he describes as a carpool, but an underground car parking area, which will be here for the whole flats. Yeah, just we'll come down the road here, and I know I wasn't going to show much of this till the next episode, but I'm going to give a tiny bit of a hint of what's to be discovered. So, this is a hospital. It's pretty big, and hopefully from the framework last episode that you saw, I'm hoping you got the idea of what I was trying to go for, but now it's filled out, it should show a lot better what we were doing. I won't show the other side because it's a bit too spoilerish at the moment. And I put an ambulance in. I was bored. It needed an ambulance. And this is the lobby. That's as far as we're going to go in this episode. In the next episode, I'm going to show you the whole hospital that we've got so far. It's a few floors that we've built. And it's big. It takes a long time to walk around, and I didn't want to fill up this episode with the hospital. So, if you've got any questions about how the clock is made, feel free to ask in the comments. If you've got any suggestions, then go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. Especially about the server, if you've got any ideas for buildings that we're going to be able to put in here, or ideas for adventure things that you want the player to be able to do, place them in the comments and we'll try and get to you. There's a couple of things that we want the commenters to actually provide for us. So we've got all these roads, and there'll be a hell of a lot more roads coming, but we're going to fill up the signpost roads, and we'd like you to name the roads. If you want to name it after yourselves, that's fine. So that you appear in the map. The roads aren't the only thing that we'll be able to use as naming of the subscribers in the hospital, which is actually going to be the starting point for the player. We've decided that we're going to spawn the player in the hospital. But all the wards need naming too. So if you want a name in either the wards, or you want a road named after you, then please say in the comments and which one you'd want to be named for, whether it's for the roads or for the wards. If there's any other opportunities in the future, we'll let you know. And I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Yeah, we'll see you next time. And the hospital will be our next exploration. So, goodbye.